Hi guys, Josh here and welcome to FramesPerSecond. Today we're looking at the Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 100W. Now this was the last point and shoot ever produced by Nikon, so we're going to see how it stacks up against the more popular Olympus stylus range, and if it being on the later end has any benefits as far as the technology goes. So for this we shot some Kodak Gold, just because it's my go-to, so why don't we get right into it. Now, right off the bat, I will say it does feel a lot more clumsy and flimsier than the Olympus that I shot previously, and that does kind of take away some points from it. I don't mind the size, the form factor, and I do kind of like the sliding door. I do kind of like the ergonomics of it, but it does feel lighter and more breakable than the Olympus, and it's because the lens doesn't come out when you're on your widest, so sometimes I did maybe get a finger in the corner of one of the shots or more. So you gotta be careful with that, especially if you have big fingers. I have skinny fingers. They're long but they're skinny, so I can still get away with it a little bit, but not everyone can if you have fat fingers. So be aware of that. Now it does have several flash settings. There's obviously auto, no flash landscape, no flash, flash night, and that's it. Now there's also a red eye setting, which is curious, and a red eye setting with a self timer, and so that's probably some of the new technology that's in it as far as other point and shoots go. It's a 28 to 100mm macro lens. I didn't test the macroness of it, maybe I should have. Yeah, it's a pretty solid camera. Most of the shots I got were in focus. Maybe there was some that were a little bit shaky, but that's really on me. I did test the shot with and without flash. The flash does look quite nice. The lens itself, it's not crazy sharp, but it is pretty solid. And as far as scans go, it does seem a bit contrastier. But the metering I found was not as even as the Olympus Stylus 105, but it's still not bad. It exposed decently, and we were playing with quite a bit of shadows that afternoon, so that did kind of add to the contrast of it. If it had a setting to kind of just overexpose it, a stop or a half a stop, that would be kind of nice, but most point and shoots don't have that option. So yeah, it's a pretty classic point and shoot. I basically just walked around a nice suburb and took photos of the kind of old art deco and kind of really aesthetically kind of older buildings. So I know it's not the most interesting images, nor the most interesting street, but it was me just testing out this camera to make sure it worked before I sold it, so I thought I'd do a video of it nonetheless. It's a really solid point and shoot. I've definitely have used worse, and I have used better, but it's not bad. And it's a pretty decent zoom. It's not as big as the Olympus one, even though it is only like 5mm shorter in focal length. And so it is a nice compact size, very pocketable. I will say one of the main things that puts it above the Olympus for me, at least in this aspect, is the viewfinder. The viewfinder is much bigger, brighter, and better to use. And that's definitely a plus in my book. I always like a nice, big, bright viewfinder. It's not the biggest, but it is a lot bigger than the Olympus Stylus. Obviously, Kodak Gold's one of my go-tos, so I know it's going to be good. Kind of went to this laundromat and test things out. I guess this counts as kind of a macro shot. There was some underwear on the table. And yeah, I don't know if it was the camera or just the scans that came a bit darker than I was expecting. But yeah, I'm sorry that these photos just aren't as interesting as the previous video. Nonetheless, as far as it goes, I think it's a pretty solid point and shoot. As far as the zoom point and shoots, there are the prime point and shoots with prime lenses that I do enjoy a bit more, which will be future videos coming up. But I just wanted to get these ones done first because I was selling these cameras, but I'm keeping these ones behind me for a bit longer. The thing that I guess impressed me the least is just the build of it. It doesn't feel solid, it feels very flimsy and plasticky, but I do kind of like the ergonomics, the button placement, the rewind buttons on the top here, and it does have a tripod mount, which is good, and it just uses one CR123A battery, which is great. But other than that, it's just you know, your usual point and shoot with a decent lens, but not amazing. And I do kind of wish the metering was just a little bit better, because it is a bit darker than I was hoping. And so that's all I have to say about the Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 100W. It's a solid point and shoot, it's handy, it's versatile, and I don't mind the size of it at all, but it could be better in other ways. But as far as what its uses are, this is just a happy snap kind of camera. I wouldn't be doing anything kind of proper and professional for it, though it could be good for some travel as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 100W. Let me know your thoughts on the camera and the images in the comments below, especially if you have one. Let me know how you like it. Okay, so if you didn't see last week's video, I'm giving away a TLR. I'm giving away a Mamiya C3, and what you have to do to be able to win this camera is you have to get me past the 1,000 subscriber mark, and also follow me on both my Instagram accounts. So I'll put all those details in the description of this video. But yeah, we're less than 20 people away from me hitting 1,000 subscribers, and so you've got one more week. On the 25th, submissions will close, and then comment below your Instagram account so I can confirm that you're following. And if I haven't hit 1,000 subs by then, no one's winning the camera. So to free, all you need to really do with the camera is maybe get some new light seals, and I'll also be doing a video on this in the near future as well, which I will announce the winner of the camera in that video. Posting anywhere in the world that is able to receive postage from Australia, but we need to get me to 1,000 subscribers first, otherwise no one's getting the camera anyway. So like and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when there's a new video. Anyway, I'm Josh, this has been Frames Per Second. Just get out there, shoot some film.